Hey, welcome to Magical Musings number 6, which is Go Where You Are Appreciated and Valued. Now, welcome to Magical Musings. If you've never heard or arrived at a Magical Musings episode, Magical Musings is a shorter episode, which is about 5 minutes or less, or a bit more, depends on how much I waffle, which is just about some of my thoughts and some of my feelings over the last month. And I really wanted to share something I saw that was really inspirational on LinkedIn. Now, patrons of the Patron community, you're going to be able to watch this live because all videos of Magical Musings are recorded and stuck in the Patron community. So if you're not a member of the Patron community, why not? It's just the price of a cup of coffee. Anyway, I'm going to put this on the screen now, but I saw a wonderful post from a lady called Ellie Mckay. I've never met Ellie Mckay before, but I saw one of my peers in my industry like one of her pages and one of her posts, and I thought, I'm going to take a look at this. This is quite interesting. Now, looking into it as well, we might have to have a conversation. So, Ellie, if you are listening to this, let's get in touch because I know that she hosts a awesome podcast as well. But anyway, so Ellie put this post on to give you context if you're not watching this in the Patreon community, because they can see this post up on the screen with me as well. There is a picture of a subway of just CCTV image of people walking past of a violinist playing. And just people walking past, really. No crowd, nothing, just people kind of on their daily commute. And there's a picture below that as well, which is the same person as a professional shot playing their violin. And also there's a picture of them just obviously in the subway with the hat on, probably in some kind of just everyday clothes. And then the other photo is a professional photo. I'm going to read this post out because I think it's fantastic. So Ellie puts, a violinist played for 45 minutes in New York subway. A handful of people stopped, a couple clapped, and the violinist managed to raise about $30 in tips. No one knew this, but the violinist was Joshua Bell, one of the best musicians in the world. In that subway, Joshua played one of the most intricate pieces ever written with a violin worth $3.5 million. How cool is that? A $3.5 million violin in the subways of New York. Now, 2 days before that, he actually played in the subway. Joshua Bell sold out a theatre in Boston and the seats averaged for about $100. And the experiment proved that the extraordinary in an ordinary environment does not shine and is so often overlooked and undervalued. There are brilliantly talented people everywhere who aren't receiving the recognition and reward they deserve. But once they arm themselves with value and confidence and remove themselves from an environment that isn't serving them, they thrive and they grow. Your gut is telling you something. Listen to it if it's telling you that where you are isn't enough. Go where you are appreciated and valued. Know your worth. Love, love, love this post. So Ellie, firstly, thank you for sharing this. I absolutely loved it. And this is so true because fans of the Unlock podcast, you'll know that I've been sharing about some conversations that I've been having with my therapist about knowing my value, knowing my worth. And one of the things that I've been sharing about, which I've not really discussed this a lot really, is that I've been getting a lot of abuse really in where I perform. Now, to kind of give you a bit of context about this, in terms of what I do and where I perform at weddings and events. And most of the time, my relationship is always with the booker. So in terms of that, the booker will always book me and that relationship will be them. I don't really know who's going to be at the wedding, but you can kind of gauge an idea. Now, obviously, as a magician, there is a stereotype that I'm going to saw people in half. I'm going to make people disappear. I'm going to read their minds and steal their secrets, which is completely all false. Because of this stereotype and the way that people have their references, because we've talked about this before on the podcast, such as beliefs and the references that we have on our tables, this is why people have this assumption of magic. And the amount of times and the amount of people that I've seen this year where I approach people and say, hello, I'm Ricky, I'm the magician here. I'm here to entertain you for so-and-so's wedding. And straight away you get, are you going to disappear? Or are you going to make my wife disappear? Now, over time, yes, you get used to this. This is what happens when you perform, and you can have like a line or something to kind of neutralize that situation and perform in a right way. But compounding over time, that's quite abusive language. And I had a moment of this earlier on this year where I just thought, this is weird. Why am I experiencing this? Is this something to do with me? Do I need to take responsibility here for how I perform? Is it the way I'm coming across to people that is just getting people's, their backs up, or they just want to feel like they are challenged? Now, in hindsight, when I've been looking through this and kind of reviewing everything that I'm doing, when I was looking into my performance, I went to 2 weddings in one day. One was at a drinks reception in an afternoon and one was in an evening reception. And I thought I would test this out. And I actually performed the same routine at the afternoon, and then the same routine in the evening, exactly word for word, the same way, same approach to everyone, and I had a clear difference. The first wedding, no one could be bothered to see me. And I got all the standard typical responses of, oh, hello, I'm Ricky, tell me what's your name? Will you tell me, mind reader? Okay. And then simple as this as well, I actually said, hello, my name's Ricky. And obviously as I got into the routine, I always ask for people just to build a bit of rapport. Can you tell me your favourite word that you like to use? And the amount of C words, so see you next Tuesday, that pop up is just unbelievable. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you, because I'm going to explore this in more detail, the reason I'm sharing this, so patrons, you're going to see this up on the screen now on the video, is Ellie's post, which is that same message that she's talking about, if I can unlock my phone, here we go, about go where you are appreciated and valued. Now, I totally am appreciated and valued, so let's make sure that is clear. But one of the things that I'm starting to really now think about is, where do I go that fills my cup, but actually this is the value that I have to offer? To give you a bit of an idea, one of the things that I've been doing if I'm encountering people like that is I've been clearly saying no. And I've just been saying, that's great. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I move on. So rather than pandering to that request of just saying, what do you say to that response? Great. You know, I most of the time now I say, oh, well, that's quite rude, isn't it? When most of the time people say, oh, you know, oh, if this is a bit, you know, I have a standard magician response, which is, oh, it's a bit rude, that, isn't it? Yeah, but I would do, sir, but she's put a deposit on you first. Now, it just kind of break the ice, and then, you know, it makes the wife or the partner feel a bit better. But I just thought, you know what, why are we not taking this seriously? Now, I know magic and comedy is that kind of environment where you can have a little bit of fun, but I can't understand why this stereotype is that we need to feel like we can be rude to people, you know, by saying the C word or just insulting people, say like that, you know, you're going to make me disappear. No, I can completely handle that. I'm an adult, right? I get it. And this is, there's more things going on here based on research, you know, right? Psychology, you got people in tribes, in their family, you got alphas that are kind of driving the conversation, and someone's interrupting them to perform some magic. So clearly there's going to be some, you know, thin slicing here, like by Malcolm Gladwell, freeze, fight, flight. Who's this weird guy approaching me? What's he doing with a pack of cards, and so forth. And even so, a really worse time that I've had is this one, which is where I approached someone, had a pack of cards in my hand, and some woman saw me and she went, oh my God, no, magician's here. And she turned around 180 degrees, and I thought, well, that's pretty rude. And I went to ask her name and she blanked me. And I said to her friends, I said, you know, who's this lady? And they said, oh, that's Mandy. I said, oh, okay, she all right? Yeah, I think so. I went, Mandy, are you okay? And she just point blank refused to talk to me. And I thought, that's very rude. All I'm here to do is to entertain you, right? Now, here's the thing. Obviously, I'm not quitting everything that I'm doing. Obviously, the magic, I love the magic. What I am doing, though, is focusing on the people that I can serve. And as Ellie is putting this message about, go where you're appreciated and valued and know your worth. I take responsibility for everything that I do. But I completely understand not everyone's going to like me, not everyone's going to like magic, and therefore I don't need to pander around that and prove my worth. I know how good I am. I know the value that I offer. Therefore, if this person wants to be like this, I am not spending my time with them. I will move on and then spend time with someone else who appreciates my value and appreciates my worth. I totally understand that magic is you know, it's a fun thing. It's magical, whether people believe it or not. But there's no right for people to just kind of insult that. My friend is a harpist, so shout out to Harriet Flaver. No one just shouts out to a harpist going, "Oh, go on then, are you going to play this, Harry Potter?" Well, they might do, I don't know. But actually, you wouldn't do that if you were sitting in a theatre. You wouldn't do that if you were sitting in a show and shout out to people on stage. I know in comedy clubs they get heckling because that's that environment, but this is rude. Why would I do this? So, yeah. So, Ellie, I want to say thank you, obviously, for sharing this wonderful thing. I'm going to unlock my phone again just so everyone can see this on the Patron video. Go check out Ellie Mckay. She's got a fantastic podcast. I'm going to get it up on the screen now so I can actually I should have got this really sorted on the old show notes. So we'll stick this in the show notes if you listen to this live. But here we go. I'm going to try and find you now, Ellie. So Ellie, you know, thank you so much for putting that little message out there. That's really inspired me. And I'm guessing for everybody that's listening to this podcast now, you're absolutely Oh, here we go. On a Mission podcast with Ellie Mckay. Ellie, sorry for the late delay of of putting that right at the end, but I'll put a link in the show notes as well. Thanks, Ellie, for sharing that. And for anyone listening to this, absolutely follow that. Follow Ellie. She's great on LinkedIn. But also, there's that point of absolutely going where you are, you feel appreciated and you know your worth. So love that post. Thank you, Ellie, for inspiring me. Continue to listen to this podcast because I will be sharing more about what my plans are to continue sharing my value to the world of unlocking people's potential, whether that's in the Confident Club, whether that's at events or that's at weddings, and what I'm choosing to do to control how I feel and not determined by other people. I know my worth and I know what difference I can make to this world. So there we go. Look, what a great little episode. Again, a bit over 5 minutes, I'm sorry, but it's a 10-minute episode. It's a great episode. Hey, nice episode this. So look, as always, thank you for listening. You know, obviously the patrons, we've got Ant Howe, we've got Chris Lovett, we've got Steve McDermott, we've got Cheri Brenton. Come and join for as little as £3 a month, or even under £1 a month. That's nothing. Come join for free and get your name mentioned on the end of this podcast and receive bonus content like this video, which I'm waving to on the screen right now to all of my all the patrons. I'll get this back up on the screen in a second. But yes, come join us. I would love for you to join my community so that we can unlock the best version of ourselves and live an extraordinary life and not go through those things like was mentioned on that post. But as always, thank you for listening. We'll fade this out now. Head over to Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Leave us a review. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you think about this episode. But thank you very much for listening. Good luck. And I look forward to hearing how you unlock the best version of yourself. Thank you very much. Goodbye.